Welcome to episode 2 of La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins, the podcast where we dive into everything from the ups and downs of love and life to the special bond we share as Latinas and cousins. Today's episode is called Family Ties, and we're going to explore and try to dive deep into the heart of family connections and the challenges that arise when those connections are tested. I'm Stephanie, and I'm here with my prima Alma.
Today we're tackling a topic that's both deeply personal and timely AF. We're exploring what happens when families start to experience growing pains and perhaps some crumbling of the foundation after the death of a loved one. Specifically, we're going to be reflecting on how our Nana's passing has influenced our family dynamic and how some family drama stories that came from our Primas community.
This is a difficult subject. I know it pains you just as much as it pains me, and actually Alma brought it to my attention, and I was thinking about it as we entered the room, that today is, the waterworks are going to come.
Yeah.
Actually, tomorrow is September 13th, Friday the 13th, and it's actually my grandma's 12th year since her passing. Is it 12 years?
I think it's been 12. I don't know, 2013.
Yeah.
11.
11. So it's very timely, and we did not plan this. This was just the second topic on our agenda, and it just so happens that it's our grandma's anniversary of her passing.
I think that's what makes it so hard too, though, Steph, is that like when you go through these growing pains 11 years later, like would you have think that we would have been through these growing pains? Like I feel like we would have been like past it. But I think we've experienced so much hurt and loss that like it kind of just lingers. You never address it.
And the pain is, grief is weird. Grief, like some days, I'm going to be honest, and I hope no one gets offended or gets upset, because my Nana, just like my siblings, my brother and my cousins, was like our lifeblood. She was our North Star. She kept us moving in the right direction. But there are days when I pass my life and I don't think about her because I'm just going through life. And there's some days where I will just like burst into tears in the middle of the day. I'll smell something, I'll hear something. And most recently, I think what's been paining me deeply in my heart is we've got some conflict going in the family, and it's something that she never would have stood for. Stand for. It doesn't matter. She would not have had this. And I'm going to leave it at that, but we're going to be kind of sharing our own experiences, how we're feeling, our emotions, offer some insights into how we personally cope with these changes and these things that are cropping up, and hearing from others who have faced similar situations. I also think it's hard because it's not something you expect when you come from a strong family like ours. I always thought that our family, everybody was like us. And the more I met people, and when I was dating people when I was younger, before I was married, and friends, I'm like, oh my God, we're weird AF. We are not
your norm.
No, like people are not as close as we are. And so I never thought that this would have happened. And that's what makes it so painful, I think.
I agree with you. I think because we've always been so close and we've stuck together in like some pretty challenging times. Like we've gone through, you name it, we've probably gone through it as a family. And you know, when I was dating or married for that short amount of time, I was like, oh, what do you mean your family doesn't get together for birthdays? Or, oh, what do you mean you're not going to go see them for Christmas?
Yeah.
Like,
what?
Excuse me? Like,
you're
no.
Not going to go make 10 dozen tamales? What?
I can't fathom that. But like, I think I said in episode 1, like, that's kind of where it's like a pros and cons, right? Like, I love it when we're doing things like this, like venturing out, trying new things. I love it when we've gone weeks without seeing each other, but yet we kind of pick up right where we left off. Mm-hmm. But then it's those times where like, oh, I wasn't invited, or oh, I wasn't, I didn't know about that, or no one told me about that. That kind of starts to pain you, like, oh man, I thought we were closer than that. I thought we were better than that.
Yep.
Maybe not better. Wrong word to use.
No, I know what you mean. And everybody has their lives going in different directions that it's hard to center and pull back. So we're hoping that this particular episode and just us talking through it will help us kind of get to a place where we can heal as a family. And of course, like the thing we'll get into more of what we've been experiencing, but feelings have been hurt and things have been happening, but I strongly believe that there's nothing that our family cannot overcome. We've been through some crazy ass stuff. My brother told me I can't cuss till 10 minutes, so I'm counting 10 minutes.
We got 5 minutes, girl. Yeah.
So I guess we could just dive right in and kind of rip off the Band-Aid and throw some mirtolate on this bee.
Ow, mirtolate. Dear Lord, my skin is burning. Do you remember that one time? Were you there? I digress. Do you remember that one time in Nogales, we were at Tia Fina's house across the line? I like was on a swing or something, and I fell back on like, and I hit my head on like, and it was like a stucco house. And so like I scraped my like back of my neck, and I think they threw on some like metiolato followed by some arnica cream. So I just smelled like.
I remember when they squeezed a lemon in your eye for your sty. Dude, that metiolate was like on a little fly swatter though, remember?
Yes.
But as it turned was clear.
The pink
because
one.
I remember all the little Mexican kids would come to school with like a cut, and then it was like pink or like burnt sienna all around. I'm like, what is that? Anyway, that was painful.
Steph, I think it's time for us to grab a cup of tea, maybe a cafecito, pan dulce, a little snacky snack, settle in and join us as we navigate through this difficult and maybe a little controversial conversation about lost family and the journey of finding our way through it all.
Okay, well, let's do it. So, like we said, we're going to talk a little bit about how Nana's passing has affected us, the grandchildren, compared to how it has impacted our own children, our parents, and other family members. We shared in the last episode, which you probably have heard by now, that when my grandma passed, the church was packed to the gills. We grew up in Lincoln Heights. Our parish was Our Lady of Guadalupe, and still is in a way. We always kind of come back to that church when we need to come together as a family, and it was packed to the gills. So I can't really speak for my parents, but there is a different kind of grief and adjustment depending on where you stand in the family hierarchy. So for me, I can say undoubtedly, the passing of my nana and my grandma Nieves on my dad's side was one of the they were two of the most painful experiences of my entire life. My nana was always a constant in our lives. Her home felt safe. Do you remember the Northridge earthquake? Was it? No, not Northridge. Whittier Narrows? I was shaking like a leaf. And we didn't even go to school. Mom didn't go to work. We went straight to Nana's.
I don't remember.
All that used to tell her own story about the trash can. We were outside Nana's house, and like I couldn't relax till I got there. And when I got there, I was like, I'm safe. And to get DMI deep down, there's only two places I can take a dump: my house and my grandma's house. Seriously, that's how I was like, oh, this is home.
I mean, this might be TMI, but you might as well add a third, because I haven't even moved my place for a month. She's come over 2 times, and I think she's taking a dump every single time.
Okay, 3 places.
3 places. Safe haven. You got it, girl.
So yeah, she was a constant in our home. Her house felt safe. It felt warm. We would knock out on the couch. We could do everything there.
Go straight for the fridge. Find some flan.
Literally, the only fridge other than my own that I would go in and not flan.
Right.
And not feel like a malcriada, but so anyway, she was a big part of our life, and the mourning has gone on honestly till this moment, till this day.
Yeah. It's our Nana was just someone who I don't know, she was hard. Steph said that in our first episode too, but yet you knew she loved you so much. You knew that it doesn't matter who you were, what you were doing, what sports team you followed. She still found that love and found that way to make you feel welcomed in her home. And I think for a lot of us, again, we can't talk for everybody, we still have that family home, and sometimes it doesn't feel homey. And again, I'm not a feather ruffler. We're not trying to cause more drama with these podcasts. It's just how you feel. And my feelings is one thing that you can't take from me. That's how I feel. We're not speaking on behalf of anyone else in our family, but we are just speaking truly from our hearts, because a lot of people go through this grief and go through these, losing someone in their family, and they don't have a safe place to talk about it. And so I think we're just looking for safe places to just let things go. I'm one who hoards stuff. I almost cussed, but we're not at the 10-minute mark yet. I'm one who hoards stuff. I'm one who personal belongings, feelings, emotions, I won't let it out until I'm to the brim and then some.
And we want this to be a soft place to land, not just for us, but the people who come on. Everyone who's followed our Instagram, oh, this is all our family and our friends. We want this to be a soft place to land where we can explore our feelings honestly. And the people that we have on can also be honest. Just like we said in the first one, just to reiterate, as long as it's not hateful or violent or any disrespectful, this is a place where you can talk freely.
Yeah, so when Grandma's house it was a hub for all of our family traditions, everything. Steph said it earlier, making tamales, birthday parties, dinners, breakfasts, like it was just a place where we'd go, and sometimes we would show up. Granted, I lived at that house for 18 years,
Oh yeah.
right? So I grew up,
Her whole life was there.
my whole life was there, yeah. I mean, I moved out my senior year of high school, and so for me, that was like, yeah, because that's when they did the remodel.
Controversial, man. Like Hello Kitchen, do we throw it out, do we not?
Oof. Oof.
I had to go there. I
Man.
had to give it to him.
Man, there have been a lot of memories there, and so it just felt like, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't think that this was going to be such a hard topic to talk about.
It is. It almost feels like rambling because it's almost too difficult to dig deep. So we can like stay on the surface level, and like as we move on into other episodes, it'll come up again. Because like I said, she was a central figure. She was our North Star. She was the person who like I literally had like a time frame of like I don't give a F because like my grandma's not here. I don't have anybody.
Right?
I don't have anybody to.
Hey, we're at the 11-minute mark, so you can let it fly now.
I don't give a fuck because my nana's not here. I will say, like, something that has come up in the past and is kind of like renewing itself in a different way, and I would love for you to jump in and give your thoughts, is her actual home. So, like, her home was so unique. I can't even describe it to you, but, like, the story is that our grandfather, who we didn't get to meet, they purchased a home when they came to Los Angeles, and they bought a duplex, and because they had 8 kids, they kind of like broke the walls that were separating it and made a home. So you could literally walk around our grandma's house in an entire circle.
Yeah.
And so that was our place. And then I think they remodeled it in like 2002.
Yeah.
Totally remodeled it. And so that was one. I cried. Did you cry when you saw it?
I cried.
I cried.
Oh. Yeah.
I know you cried because you're Chona. And
I'm a crier. I will admit that much. I am the crier in this group.
For sure. So it was our place, and I think something else that happened when she passed was like, is this still our place?
Right.
Because really, our aunt lives there and has lived there with her whole life and cared for her. You know, when a lot of people weren't there, to be frank.
For sure.
And then it was her house, and so people were like, "Can I still just drop in? Can I just stop by? My aunt needs to live her life in this house, but also like this was our place,
Right.
and now we don't have our place." And that was the first bite of the apple with the growing pains. Like I want to just stop in, but that's not fair. Like, what if she has someone over? What if she's hosting? What if?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Furthermore, like I wouldn't want people coming over every event and making a mess, and then I have to
clean up at the beginning. I have to clean up at the end. I have to host. I can't sit and just enjoy myself, right? Like
yes. So that was tough.
It was tough, but I also think that like our aunt like really played she kind of took on that role.
Yep.
And she's, she's taken on a lot, and like she is very similar to me, I think, in the sense where like she holds everything in until the brim.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to her either,
I agree. It's been a journey, but I think before this new conflict that we'll get into in a little bit, we were in a good place, and I think people were coming and going. Things kind of, I think even for a while, she's like, "Is anyone going to see me?"
I know.
People were kind of going about their lives, so
yeah.
So the home really, all that to say, the home really is an integral piece of. It was like connected to our grandma. So
I mean, everywhere we went, Steph, like our elementary school was right there, the parish, like if you walk into the auditorium of the parish, like there's a picture of our grandma on like their wall of fame.
Oh,
like
and we literally walk those streets every year during Christmas for the posadas.
Yeah.
And they ended at our grandma's house with calientitos and the rosary and all the church women praying. So like that was our neighborhood.
Nah,
like our
it wasn't the posadas, it was the novena right before the Virgen. Sorry, fact check. And I only say that because it always fell around my birthday.
Oh.
And so we were doing the novenas, and Grandma would always volunteer our house.
like, what about my party,
on
Grandma?
my birthday. So I would have to celebrate with all the church ladies.
Yeah.
No offense to the church ladies. I love the church ladies.
But yeah, so that was I don't know. It's still painful. It's still something that we think about often, but that's our neighborhood. That will always be our neighborhood. So.
Oh, for sure. There's like a sense of like, there's still a little sense of home.
I do too, and Chris gets so mad. He's like, "This isn't my neighborhood," because my kids go to school in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This isn't my neighborhood. This is." I'm like, "This is my neighborhood. This is like where everything in my life happened here."
Yeah. Your primitive age. Primitive? Is that the right word? No. I'm not good with words.
Formative.
Formative. Thank you.
Formative years happened there.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, me too. I live there. Like I said, like my mom lived with my grandma. It was my mom, my grandma, or correction, my grandma, my mom, my godmother, my brother, sister, and I who lived there for, ever since I was a baby. Like that was the only home I knew.
Yeah. So aside from the house, I mean, the house is something, I'm missing my grandma, and in that, I guess I can go into kind of what's been happening lately, what we're trying to work through. I think we're still today going through the growing pains, and not that it's directly related to my grandmother, but I think, I think sometimes we just forget how important family is and how important it is to be inclusive, and how, like, everyone is aging, growing, changing in different stages of their life, and their personalities change, their tolerance for one another changes, their ability to keep the peace or stay quiet changes, and I think it makes for, I don't know, you jump in.
Here's the thing. We never try to not be inclusive. Like, I think it's just as we've gotten older, and everyone has started to form, you with your husband and the kids, my brother with his wife, my sister at home, me.
Your new place.
My new place, me moving out for the first time on my own. And then all of our other cousins who have they're far. The only cousins we have in LA out of the 17 of us is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the 17.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. I'm doing this quickly off the top of my head. I don't think I'm missing any. Maybe 8, okay? But even then, like, we're not all in the same areas.
Yeah.
Like, we're spread out. So, like, I'm sorry, but coming home after work, after teaching kids all day, I don't want to drive 45 minutes to your house. No offense.
No.
I love your children, but I don't want to drive 45 minutes to your house. I don't want to drive. It's like, I got to go out of my way to go to there. Right? And even when I was living at home with my mom and my sister, like, it was still like, oh man, that's still a drive.
Yeah.
Like, so you just get into your routines where you also have to, like, take care of yourself, but it's so hard because we're such a close-knit family.
I know. And everybody's in everybody's business, to be real. Everybody's in everybody's business, and everybody wants to be helpful, but everybody wants to be the most helpful, and everybody wants to be the savior. Sorry, I said it. Like, for different reasons and different scenarios.
Yeah.
But lately there's been the conflict has been, like, more than I've ever seen it.
Oh,
There've been
100%
feelings,
more.
name calling, siloed family groups, and overall bad feelings. And it's been the first time in my life that I've thought, like, like, no contact might not be such a bad idea. Like, I gotta decide, like, I gotta keep my peace. Maybe I'm not gonna see this person no more. Maybe I'm not gonna come around. Maybe I'm not. And, like, my heart says, like, don't be an idiot. Like,
right.
Let it go. But, like, sometimes my mind's like, no, you got me all the way fucked up. Are we past 10 minutes?
We're totally past 10 minutes. You're good.
You got me all the way
good.
fucked up. And I waffle between, like, I'm gonna say what I think, and I'm just gonna walk away. And you know what keeps me from going all the way off?
Let me guess. Oh, dang,
Sorry,
girl.
I got it in my
She got it. She got in it. Let me guess. Nana?
Bingo. I always think about Nana. I'm like, oh, would Nana want me to do this? No. And, like, Steph circa 2001 is different than Steph 2024. And let me tell you, see what happened at Daiso?
In 20...
Like, so what happened at Daiso the other day?
Oh, we did.
Okay.
We did have this conversation.
Okay, listen, I'll make it super fast. But Steph 2021 would have told you to go F yourself, to shove it, and I probably would have knocked your lights out.
100%.
I probably would have knocked your lights out.
100%.
So I go to Daiso, and I see this man, he's walking in, unassuming, regular guy, glasses, mask, doesn't look, but he's like 6'5", he's a big guy. Doesn't look like he's, look at a regular guy. I have my sunglasses on, I have my earphones on, my over the ears, noise canceling.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my mom, minding my business, looking for a damn box, looking for a box to put my stuff in. I get my box, I go to the line, this man is like 4 people ahead of me, and he's like looking at me intently, and I'm like, do I know him? What is he looking at me for? He's like, you, and he's pointing at me, and he's like, starts yelling at me, and I take my earphones off, and I'm like, me? And he's like, well, yeah, you're following me, and you're gaslighting me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I turn around, I'm like, oh my, and I did not go into like old OG fight mode. I was like full flight, bitch. I almost jumped my butt behind the counter. And the girl's like, don't leave. I'm like, I didn't leave you. I was staying back here with you. I was terrified. He was like standing and blocking the doorway. You're not leaving. And I had to call 911. But all that, it ended fine. But all that to say, like,
she's not the same person, ladies and
No.
gentlemen. Let me just put it that
I'm
way.
so scared.
3 kids later, 4 kids. Gotta include
I
Adam.
think I'm just extremely tired. Like, I'm so tired that I'm like, I really want to fight you, but I'm just going to be like...
I'm just gonna step back and just let you fight me. Maybe it'll put me, like, out for a couple days and I get a rest.
Honestly. Lock me up! I need a break.
I am following him. Just kidding. I'm not following him. Well, it brings us to a really clear point that Nana would have never stood for any of this. Like, I cannot imagine Stephanie, like, okay, I'm gonna bring it up. Like, this is a free place, right? There was an issue between a family member and myself years ago. Years ago. And we, like, didn't talk. Like, we would, like, I would say hi, I would not be acknowledged, like, it would go back and forth, and it wasn't just with me. And so, like, it got to a point, though, where one day my Nana told her, like, sons, my uncles, and was like, look, I'm tired of this, like, you need to talk to them. And so, like, my godfather called me one day, and he was, like, straight up, he's like, look, it's affecting my mother, like, you gotta let this go. Like, I don't want to hear anything, like... And my godfather is one of the people that I look up to, like, the most, like, and so he was like, look, like, you gotta just, like, let it go. She's noticing, like, this was years before that, like, grandma was even sick, or grandma might have already been sick at that point. And so it just kind of was like, everyone involved was talked to, and was like, for the sake of grandma or your mother, like, it's squashed. I don't care what happened, I don't care what was said, I don't care what was done, you're moving forward. And I think... that was, you know, it came down to that being said. So, like, I think of everything that's happening right now, and I'm like, if grandma was here, like, she would be like, this ish ain't happening. Like,
exactly.
We're
not this family.
We're not this family. Like, who are you making us out to be?
What are we?
No, we're not. We're not.
Bless you, Pollyanna. I'm like, are we? I don't know. No, I don't think we are.
We're really not. I just think that, like, we've been hurt in so many ways, and as Latinos and Latinas, like, I don't know that, like, we really know how to, like, apologize or how to, like, own up to, hey, I'm really sorry, I effed up, I said X, Y, and Z.
Yep, or appropriately have a confrontation that's appropriate. Like, not screaming or fighting, just say, like, let's have this conversation.
Right.
And respect one another. And then if we F up or we go too far or we feel like we lost our heads, it wasn't me, then you can apologize and say, like, I'm sorry. Or I think you owe me an apology. You know?
But without being, like, guilted into it, or without being like...
I have to do it because then my mom's going to be mad at me. Or because then I can't go to the freaking holiday without me being weird. I was like, why do I feel weird? I'm not going to feel weird.
I did nothing wrong. Like, why do I have to feel weird?
But also, I don't know. I think we just need to be better communicators and...
Now, do you think that's just something amongst our family? Or do you think that's something culturally?
I think it happens in all families. I really do. But I think the guilt part and the obligation and the feeling like you have to apologize and you have to always, like, make it right is cultural. Because I have a dear friend who has some issues with her mom. And her mom is clearly always wrong. Clearly always in the wrong. But she's, like, in the beginning when I met her many years ago, she'd be like, but it's my mom. And now it's escalated to, like, I don't even care if it's my mom. But other people always say, but it's your mom. And in my mind, I'm like... I don't owe you.
Girl,
I'm so
sorry, the mics are picking up a lot. Hopefully our editor will do really well with Steph's, like, banging and getting into this.
But I'm like, I don't care if it's the Pope. If he's gonna treat me, if he's gonna disrespect me, then guess what?
I mean, but is the Pope gonna disrespect you?
I don't know.
Now you're saying...
What is it, that guy who told you to hurry up and take a picture?
Who?
The Monsignor or the... I forget.
Ooh.
It's my favorite picture.
The picture of me with the face? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If you all know, or you might be in the LA area, Cardinal Mahoney. He was the tangent. I did Play Score, a program through Loyola Marymount University, and we had a commissioning mass, and for some reason in our cohort photo, they put me next to him. And I don't think we were like a big fan of him because of like things that he was doing.
I know it was Grandma's birthday, wasn't it?
No, but I started making that face because of that
He was
one
like, hurry up and take the
picture.
picture. Remember?
Huh?
Did you say to hurry up and take the picture?
Yeah, it was that
You're
same
like-
guy though. No, but this was at my Play Square commissioning
It's
mass.
the best. It's
And it was
almost
like,
as good as you
it's
would
gonna be
through the,
posted. It is my
camera.
Nina's favorite photo. She literally has this picture in her office. And I'm like, can you take this down? And whenever I'm having a bad day, she like sends it to me. But I'm making a face that's like, ugh, why am I standing next to this person? No offense, Cardinal Mahoney. He's also not the Pope, so I feel like
Oh, I know. But yes, anyway, all that to say, I think you're right. It's cultural. We need to be better at apologizing. We need to be better at saying, I messed up, or I think you messed up, or saying, I think you owe me an apology, or let's just squash it. But then we also have to be ready for the person to say, I don't want to squash it because you disrespected me, or I don't want to squash it because you yelled at me in front of my children.
But
Hypothetically speaking.
But I mean, okay, yes, but those things happen. But still, like, there should be an apology for that. Like, not on your end. I mean,
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of things I could apologize for.
hypothetically, not on your end.
I could apologize for some things if I look at. I just done a lot of bad stuff in my life. I've done a lot of. You know what I'm afraid of? I
What?
really want our podcast to well, but I'm afraid someone's gonna give 1 star and be like, I knew this bitch when she was 18 years old or 19 and she burned me.
And those
She
are going to
was
be
like
all
crap.
coming. Those are all going to be Stephanie's stories. Those will not be any of my
Please
stories.
don't use my name.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was all Ellen's stories, and so. That's a nickname I used to call her. But the bottom line is like, oh God, I think we really just need to be better at like owning up to it. I even told my students that today. Like, own up to our mistakes and just be like, look, I effed up. I was in the wrong. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, leave it, do what you want with it, but like be genuine about it.
Yeah.
Not like a, hey, I'm really sorry that I said that.
Sorry you feel that way.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Because, bitch, let me tell you, you cannot take my feelings. I'm so sorry. But, like, that's how I feel. I'm an
Yeah.
constant apologizer.
No,
This is
we're
a no
right
judgment
about
zone. This is a no judgment zone.
You're, so let me ask you this. I'm no way delusional that I'm like the better Catholic granddaughter, cousin, daughter, whatever. So as the more level-headed person, if you had a message to those feuding in our family, specifically in our family, I'm not going to be like round about it, what would your message be?
My message would be WWNS. NSD. What would Nana say or do? My message would also be like, take a step back and evaluate. Because again, I am in no way the perfect person. X, Y, and Z, throw all my labels under there. And I'm the first one when I mess up in my classroom. I'm the first one to be like, hey students, I'm so sorry. Like I just snapped at you
I
all.
apologize to my kids all the time. I do.
You do what?
I
Sorry.
apologize to my kids all the time.
Oh, 100%. Like they need to see that like adults can apologize too, or like it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to know when you did wrong or when you messed up, but like don't be prideful. That to me, like I feel like a lot of what is getting in our way is pride.
Totally.
And so just like own up to it, like, and just give a genuine apology. Like
I agree.
reflect, take a step back, reflect, journal, I don't know, color, do whatever you want to do, like to make you like help you reflect,
Yeah.
and then make those calls. Like if I need to make those calls, I'll make those calls. But like I feel like now I will make those calls.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I don't know if I really have any calls to make right now.
Good.
And anybody, if you're out there and you feel like I need to make a call to you, just hit me up and be like, yo, can you think about this
Can you call
situation? Can you apologize to me because
Hang up. Can you call me back?
call me back so that you called me and you're apologizing to me? Because I might not know that I offended you or that I upset you or that I said something wrong. That's just my thought on it. I don't know.
I think you're right.
And again, I don't want to offend anyone with this podcast, but also like I
It's
feel
nothing,
like
it's nothing that everybody's not talking about already, Elma. Like, come on.
I know.
If it were me, I would say just think about the good memories. For example, I think like Saturdays in the park, I think it was like the 4th of July. I think people were talking and laughing. The man selling ice cream, singing Italian songs.
I
Just
don't.
think-
I have no idea.
Think of the good memories.
Wait,
yeah,
I'm
but
so intrigued because I don't know where she's trying to like get me to go with this.
nothing. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just being awful. Anyway, listen. God bless you. You're better than me. I'm gonna just stop there before I really get myself into the hot water. I'm just being silly, guys. I'm just being silly. So, anyway, it's pretty clear we're not gonna get to the bottom of this on our own. Which brings us to the next part. Actually, you want to hear something funny? We asked for like juicy family drama. We asked for how you resolve conflict. Not one of you fools out there gave us any type of advice how to resolve conflict. It was just like conflict. I'm like, does anybody want to help us resolve?
Dude,
anything?
nobody wants to help. They think
No.
we're the perfect family, that we don't have this problems.
Listen.
I mean, we were asking for the advice, primos and primos. Like, we wanted that.
Give us some juice. Give us some good stuff, girl. Go through the notes. You got them?
I don't think I even put that. I don't think I saved them. We had a couple of our followers who brought up, what's that thing called?
Oh, you know what? Pull up.
Oh, yeah.
But I did want to touch on one thing that causes conflict in many, many families. And I think we know someone who is, through my cousin Lisa, our producer, who knows a lot more about this. So we'd love to have her on at some point. But it was basically connected to caregiver burnout and what it feels like when you have siblings, 2, 3, 4 more, multiple, with an ailing parent, and one of the siblings is doing all of, if not most of, if not all of the work.
Yeah.
And what caregiver burnout looks like. And so that was a really heartfelt message, and this person was feeling like their parent was dealing with the brunt of that burnout because their sibling or siblings were not doing the work, and we know what that's like. My grandma passed in her own house. She did hospice in her own house, and also
Our Aunt Pete
did hospice in that house with people kind of like, there were days when we slept in our clothes and went to work the next day.
Yeah.
So caregiver burnout is real.
But see, I'm going to go back to it though. Like, this is like, we came together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we like issues, problem, like whatever. Like, we found a way. We like had family meetings about it and set up a calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think I had like every Saturday
what shift
night.
you were gonna come. Yeah.
Shifts, times, like, so I can imagine if it's less than the 7 that our siblings had, or that our parents had,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever cousins were here around the time that our grandmother and aunt needed the assistance, like, I can't imagine having any less than what we had because we were exhausted. And so I can't imagine if it's less than that, then it's going to fall ultimately maybe on 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about knowing, like, look, I got to put my life aside for a minute. Like, my family needs help, right? It's that pros and cons again of...
Yeah. And I mean, like, the stress of a caregiver is endless, especially when you're doing it alone. It's about money, resources, all the things you have to pay for the person that you're caring for, your own house, your health declines because you're not even paying attention to your own needs, feeling lonely because you're doing it alone, feeling depressed, feelings of sadness, feelings of loneliness, and then also a lot of people are entering the sandwich generation where they are caring for their elderly parents and they have kids or younger ones to care for, and so they kind of are left out completely. So they're trying to tell their parents as they get older, like, yeah, I'll buy you groceries, yeah, I'll help you. But they also still have kids. They don't have to be little kids, but this person in particular has kids who are raising their kids and probably wants to be a grandma.
Right.
I can't. And that takes me to how my mom was watching Sophie and Nana, remember?
Right, yeah.
And
those Sophie and Emma were so small when
Yeah.
that all started.
So it's a lot.
They were 2?
The list, huh?
They were 2?
2 when she passed away, yeah. The list can like go on and on, but
I thank you for defining sandwich generation though, because I was going through our notes and you had that in there and I was like, the heck is this? Like, I need to look up this up and see what this is. So thank you for explaining that because I never had the time. Another one that we got was about in-laws and wanting to like
send
spill.
some love to our prima that sent that message because I know you and her are like super tight and you love her a lot, and
Yeah.
I just want to let her know we're thinking of her. And
Yeah, for sure. Like just in-laws in general and just the drama that can go about, thinking that they can post
take over your life.
information that hasn't been shared with other people, So just make sure that you're just Oh God, I can't
Read
imagine.
it.
Huh?
Come on, read it.
I don't want to read it. Like,
Dude,
I don't know what
read
to,
it.
like, take out.
Dude, read
Like,
it. Dude, read it.
I can't read it all.
Dude.
Like,
I mean, just skim it. Come on, Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. All right, fine. It was a first pregnancy, and it was special because they had some health issues, and so they were just really trying to, you know, enjoy the moment and live in that moment of accepting the reality that they were going to have a baby with their spouse. And yeah, the mother-in-law went and posted it. She almost like didn't even. I'm bad at like skimming this though, because we got a lot of details.
Her mother-in-law posted her pregnancy before she could post it. I was like totally gaslighting her. Like, I guess I'm just a terrible person. I'm like, no, it's pretty freaking terrible.
That is
what
pretty
she
bad.
did.
Like, how would you feel? I don't know. I mean,
I'd be pretty mad
I'd be pretty pissed too,
if somebody stole that moment from me.
especially with a first.
I know, and especially if we thought you couldn't have children.
Right. Yeah, I can't.
And then someone else, one of our other primas wrote in about, let me see, one of her siblings didn't tell her that she was pregnant. And let me see, then when she did tell me over Instagram, she went on to invite me to. Ay, Dios mío.
I know.
This has
Some
happened to
things-
me before, where you're like an afterthought, where like everybody got a hard invite, and you're like, oh no, here's a screenshot via Instagram. So
Yeah.
her sibling or half sibling was like, here's an Instagram, you know, screenshot a week before. It's kind of like when they say like, oh, somebody canceled, let me invite so and so.
Or it's like-
that's happened to me before.
I've had that happen to me before too. Or like when it's like, hey, here we thought about inviting you, but then it said like RSVP by like September 13th, and
You're
it's,
like, it's the 12th.
September 20th. And like the invite straight up said like RSVP by September 13th.
The postmark is fucking September 15th.
There wasn't even a postmark. You got a screenshot. You got a photo of it. You got a text message to you.
Ay,
No.
ay, ay.
Another one was talking about drug addiction and having
Just read.
her mom's drug addiction
Just
and
read it.
having 5 different baby daddies.
That's not how she wrote it.
My mom's drug addict has 5 different baby daddies. I can go on forever.
Oh, I guess so. I don't know what I thought I read.
What did you think you
I
read?
don't know. That's sad though too. Addiction is never a laughing matter, especially when it's a mother who can't provide for her kids. But
Right.
that's
I mean, the bottom line is that people are really excited for this. So like if we started off on like a really like low and like Debbie Downer situation with like, hey, send us your problems, we were really looking for the advice
I know, we're trying
because
to find a solution.
and we didn't get any emails. I don't know if the email was a good idea to set up an
Nobody
email.
sends an email? Well, I mean, it's like the first. It's like the first
Alright.
couple.
I'll let it slide.
Oh, I have a good one.
What?
Okay, this is gonna be just like popcorn.
I love popcorn.
Give me a drama between us. Hit me. I got one and I was wrong.
A drama between. Oh, which one was
Yeah.
wrong?
I said I have a couple and I was wrong every time. Oh, I got a good drama.
What's your good drama?
We're gonna square up right here. 30 years later, 35 years later. Do you remember?
Oh shit! I don't know if I remember this.
Okay, so when I was growing up, we lived like right up the street from my nana Alma and Jeannie. So we went to the same school and we saw each other before school, at school, and after school.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would play at my grandma's house and Alma and Michael's stuff in Lisa's room. They shared like a big old room. This hoe wrote in anonymously to like, oh, Our Lady of Guadalupe's Miss Mabel. Like, it was like, dear Miss Mabel, or whatever it was. My cousins come to my house every day, but they leave a mess and they never clean it up, and I don't know how to talk to them about it. And I was
I had
like,
no other problems at that time. Okay.
so I go home and I was like, Dad, I think Alma wrote this, because this is my dad loves Alma. He adores her, but he's like, you know what? Pull up your little pen pad and note. We're writing. Have you ever heard of a rebuttal? We're writing a rebuttal. And
Your
I wrote
dad?
a rebuttal. Yeah.
He loves me. I do no wrong in his eyes.
I
So
know. It was hilarious.
Did
So
you
I
write a
wrote my
rebuttal?
I did. I don't remember what it said, but it was probably like
Man, it's
super annoying
probably-
because I was a very obnoxious kid. Very like.
I mean, I don't remember. I think maybe when you got engaged to Chris, I don't think I knew right away. Like, I think you, like, waited some time, because I was in college, if I'm not mistaken. I was at NDNU. And I think you, like, waited a little bit. And I was like, coming home. When did you guys get engaged? Like, what month did you guys get engaged?
Honestly, me and Chris were getting fucked up in the alternate parking lot next to one LA County in San Gabriel. We're like, we should just do it. We should just do it. So, like, I don't even remember. There was no process, no.
Do you think it's, like, coming up? Like, was it around this time? Like, this season? Because I feel like I was coming home for, like, Thanksgiving or something.
I literally couldn't tell you.
Yeah, and I think, I don't remember who, and I think you're like, hey, just want to let you know before you come home, like, I'm engaged, and I was like, what? Like, I don't know.
Sad.
Yeah, I think that was one. I don't know. I don't know. What have I ever done to you?
Sad?
What?
When you went to Kairos, I didn't write you a letter.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty fucked up. That was BRB gonna go cry in the bathroom down the hall.
Right now.
That was
Do you
pretty
know that's like a serious, like, toxic trait of mine? I will think about that till the day I die.
I mean, I don't get any mail right now at my place, so, like, if you ever want to just, like, randomly send me a letter.
Do you remember when you read my diary? With Divya?
Oh, that was your birthday.
On my birthday, the same birthday that her brother and my cousin Paul beat me up.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they let me put on as many pieces of clothes as I wanted.
Was it like your 13th?
Not even.
No?
Mm-mm.
No, because you were already in Azusa by then, no?
No, I was like, it was in that Sonova house.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that. Yeah, I remember reading your diary. But, like, I wasn't, like, a bad kid.
You were a bad kid.
I was like, at least I'm not as fat as a chicken.
I slapped the shit out of you on your back and I left a welt and your mom was so mad.
I mean, but, like, that's kid things. Those are things that we did in the 80s, 90s. Like, nowadays, forget about it. Like, kidding me, the kids are probably, my apartment's probably a wreck upstairs right now.
Sorry, I know.
It's fine. I love them.
Anyway.
Shout out to my mom and Terry for watching the kiddos upstairs.
Thank you so much. Let's see.
Let's
all
see what
that
we got
kind of
here.
stuff. So it was a lot. We had a really good childhood though. So
We
when
did.
talk about
We loved
trauma,
it.
It's like really silly stuff. But we shared a lot of our personal feelings, a lot of our experiences, and we want to hear from you for sure. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel mourning.
I'm like actually rereading our notes right now. Like,
It was like,
and I'm like, oh, I'm so behind. Like, I hadn't even scrolled down. Like, I'm so sorry. I got into it.
But yeah, it's okay to feel all those feelings, and we hope that you'll share with us. It's never too late to share. A couple cool things we have coming up is we're going to have an episode with teachers, if you're a teacher. So think about whether you want to share a story or come on the podcast. I know a lot of teachers, Alma's a teacher, a great teacher, that I know she has lots of stories.
Oof. Any of my parents, former parents listening, if you came across this somehow, they will remain anonymous. I mean,
if you heard me on this podcast, no, you didn't. Yeah, so we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, but
oh god, I don't even know where we're
no, it's all good. We're just ending. It's kind of like we've come to the end.
Yeah, we've come to the end. If you've experienced any similar situations or have any advice on healing fractured family bonds, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us on our socials or drop us an email. Don't forget to, I'm just doing it all now. Don't forget to subscribe to La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins, so you never miss an episode. We'll be back next week with our episode of... Stephanie, what's our episode next week?
Exploring Latina guilt. I have it so bad. Bro, Alma just washed her dishes before her mom got here. She washed her dishes in her own house and said, and I quote, I'm washing them so my mom doesn't get mad at me. I'm like, this is your own house. So Exploring Latina guilt is our next episode.
Because we got it. We all have it, don't we?
We're down bad.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you join us next week while we explore Latina guilt. Until later, we'll see you in the next episode of La Vida Entre Primas, Life Between Cousins.